are now listening to Talking Transparency, the podcast where transparents talk transparently. Hosted by Thea Ross, Melissa Luxon, and Cody Connor.
Transparency. My name is Thea.
I'm Cody.
I'm Melissa.
And tonight we're going to be talking all about politics, what's going on in our lives, the emotions and ways in which we're handling the fallout of the election, as I know a lot of us in the queer and trans community are. Tonight, I feel like I really want to focus on something we actually missed last week on our live stream, which is talking about and celebrating the victory of Sarah McBride.
Yeah.
Getting a trans representative is absolutely huge. We were talking a little bit before we began, but it's actually probably should have like 8 to 12 trans representatives, because what we're like 2 to 3% of the population, 435 folks in the House. So 1% is 4.35 people.
Yep.
2 people, that's 8.65, 8.7, mathing.
Math.
Half our representatives at least should be women.
I mean, yeah.
We have a lot of ways to go for
We
representation.
still have a ways. Yeah. I did pull up. So Sarah McBride becomes the first out transgender person elected to Congress. Delaware, and she killed it. She defeated her opponent with 57.8% of the vote. And she said, tonight is a testament to Delawareans that here in our state of neighbors, we judge candidates based on their ideas and not their identities, McBride said at Delaware's Democratic election night celebration Tuesday night. She thanked her friends and family and her late husband, Andy Cray, who died of cancer in 2014, just days after their wedding. Oh my gosh, she's only 34 years old and her husband passed 10 years ago when she was 24. She became a widow. That's so sad. But she went on to say, my time with Andy reinforced for me a simple truth that hope as an emotion, hope as a phenomenon only makes sense in the face of hardship. While at this moment in America's history, hope sometimes feels hard to come by, we must never forget that we are the beneficiaries of seemingly impossible change. I'm super stoked to have her as a congressperson.
That makes you wish Delaware was a bigger state.
I know, right?
I don't know if we could handle it if Delaware got much bigger, but for now, yes, I kind of wish it was a bigger state. We'd have more
Wish
representatives.
Delaware had more power.
I know, right? I know.
Well, thankfully, we'll have at least one trans representative who also sounds like a true leader. Because at 34 years old, that's the voice of someone who's been through a lot. That's someone who's speaking from experience, and it's what I'm hoping that we'll see more of.
Absolutely.
And somebody that's strong. So
Yeah.
they're going to need that in the conversations to come, I feel like.
Yeah.
Absolutely. If you're excited about Sarah McBride, tap that screen. I know we're live. We're supposed to be doing more of
Yeah,
that,
it was
right?
the first live on TikTok
It is the first live on TikTok
podcast
podcast.
that,
Oh my
that
gosh.
we've done. So
Super exciting. Tap,
yeah.
tap.
So
yes.
if you're hopping in, you're watching, share us.
Yep. Tapping is clapping. Sharing is caring. I've definitely stolen that from some of my favorite creators. And make sure you follow the page and Talking Transparency as well.
Yes, we're at Talking Transparency across the various socials. You can also go to our Linktree /Talking Trans. Have all of our links and information so you can find the latest episodes, all that good stuff. The other thing I would love to talk about, aside from Sarah McBride, is Representative Zoe winning over 70% on the re-election campaign.
Oh, wow.
When it comes to trans representatives, people tend to really respect and appreciate them because they do work.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
We're not there to play around when we show up to these sorts
That's
of
right.
positions because we have the weight of an entire community and history on our shoulders. So you better know we come correct.
And Senator Rome here in Virginia, who is a transgender elected senator in a district that is that she has had to work really, really hard and to capture, and she works so hard. I mean, she's one of the hardest working senators in our state legislation.
And she started as the very first trans representative, state representative in the country,
Yep.
and actually made the jump.
Yep.
Went all the way over to the state senate.
Yeah.
Are we getting a call in? I guess we're getting a call, and everyone wants to talk to us tonight. So if you want to talk, leave your comments. We will not be able to actually answer them. We've got a bit of a delay due to internet, but we will get back to them later if we have a chance. We'll come back if you want to hate on us or tell us how you feel about Sarah McBride or Zephy Zohar. We'd like to know your thoughts because we're here talking transparently, and that includes y'all, I guess, now that we're live, right?
Absolutely. Yep.
We were just talking before we started the show about
Oh, my new tattoo.
tattoo.
Yes, in case they take me to the gulag. y'all will know it's me. I
The,
tattooed resist on my index, my pointer finger on my right hand. It's a reminder every single day to resist.
and we were talking about one of the ways to do that, voting with our money.
We were. Yes.
And there's an app
There is an app.
that you have been blowing up all across all of our Facebook pages
I
that we're all
know.
in.
I've been telling everybody about it. Everybody I can. Just because it's a start and it's a good platform right now, like at this time, because everybody is kind of stunned and they don't know what to do. And there's a lot of people that have a lot of social anxiety. There's going to be even more anxiety about participating in political things based on the current like temperament and what's going on in the country. And so, I felt very strongly this way. I mean, I have a small business and I fired my t-shirt printer back in 2021 when I saw that they had a 4x8 Yunkin sign in the front of their property, their building where they were at. And I was like, yeah, cool. I literally called my sales rep and I was like, you're fired. And it's because you had that sign in your yard. Of the, not their personal yard, but they actually put it in front of their business building. So I was like, okay, well, sorry, as a business owner, I want to spend my money, so I have been doing this practice as best I can. And so I was really happy to discover this app, and the app is Goods Unite Us, and it's GUU is the, how you'll find it in the Apple store, probably Goods Unite Us in the Android store, but I don't know because I'm part of the iPhone Illuminati. But so GUU, and it's an app where when you open it up, you can set up an account. You don't have to set up an account. You can just actually immediately start using it, which I really liked. I did end up setting up an account. But you don't have to. And so you can basically put in your brand. You can type in your favorite brands and, or, corporations, stores like Kroger, stuff like that. And it'll tell you what their campaign finance reform score is. And so I know that, our producer Ty had downloaded the app and took a look at it, and he had some feedback. And what was his feedback, so we can talk about that?
Yes, it's hard for me to speak for Ty.
I know for Ty, yes.
Hopefully he's at home listening and watching right now. And which case I get this wrong, he'll correct me. But he was telling me that, downloading and looking at some of those different businesses, you'll find even if they are marked with a donkey, 50, 60% of them may be Democratic controlled. But ultimately, when you do dive in, they're shipping, they're still buying a lot from Amazon. They're still ingratiated in other secondary ways. So again, this is a starting off point, and it's really a point for people to be able to navigate the marketplace, for people to understand those sorts of things. So I can appreciate it in that regard, but I wouldn't say it's the end all be all.
Oh, no.
Do your own research, and especially when you do find a company or an organization that is doing the good work that represents your values and the sorts of things that we want to see going forward for a free, fair, open, democratic society. Consider not just like bookmarking them, but do that extra work of sharing them, because not every single one of them will end up on this Goods United app or any other.
Right.
So, it really is going to take the word of mouth. It's going to take that dedication, and a lot of these are small businesses that are going to make the difference, that actually can fight against the larger tides of capital and the ways in which industrial goods are made and foods are shipped and all different sorts of things internationally. So if we actually want to have sustainable or good products, it's going to be that, what is it, buy local that we've been saying that since
it's buy local.
Frequent minority businesses.
Frequent minority businesses. And I mean, and I'll give you just some examples of like how I just changed behavior in the last week, right? So even just today, I was making a list of stuff that I needed from where I would typically go would be Lowe's, because I had stopped going to Home Depot a while ago, but I went to Lowe's. Well, since using the app, I looked up Lowe's, of course. They're and I want to speak a little bit about the campaign finance reform piece of this, which is like really important, because what it is yes, even though you see a donkey, right, and it's like this is a Democratic business, and you click on them, you'll see like 66% Democratic, 34% Republican, and then it'll give you a campaign finance reform score, which is basically, listen, these corporations are donating to multiple candidates, multiple states, federal, state, all of these things, right? And it really, I'm huge into campaign finance reform. I think that it's imperative that we do it because our country is literally being bought by oligarchs, billionaires, and I mean, don't even get me started. So I'm not going to go off.
Have a
I'm not
whole
going to go
conversation
off on a tangent on that.
about
I know, but from this perspective, a lot of people just need a place to start, right? And I had a friend who actually on one of my Facebook posts like she commented like, well, where does this like end? Like, how far does this go for you? Like, and I'm like, for me, it's gonna go as far as I'm able to go, right? As far as I'm willing to go, because you're right, like production, it's very surface level, but it's a start. And I think that and I've got such a great response from people saying, thank you so much, because this is, because they are looking at it like we can vote with our money, because they are seeing how billionaires are taking over our government and not going to be looking out for the people, even though this is what they're saying. We've seen this before. And so I want to spend my money at businesses where they're going to be Democrats historically are, and not all Democrats, but I mean, Democrats are the ones historically that have been putting forth campaign finance reform. So it's just more likely than not that by supporting businesses or corporations that still donate to the Democratic candidates, those donations are at least going into politicians that we have some kind of sway from a party position to say, hey, we need this bill, right? You're never going to get that out of Republicans. You're never going to get them in to put forth a campaign finance reform bill. So, the best we can get is Matt Gaetz wanting to do, being willing to do an insider trading situation or like a stock like that our federal government representatives cannot participate in stocks and trading while they're in session, et cetera. So that's what I have to say about that. The app is Goods Unite Us. And I just really think we should be voting. And this comes down to a local level because they're not, this isn't local on the app. It's like more national brands. But I mean, you can find out your clothes. Like I was going to tell you my squirrel on my, when we're talking about patterns, I normally go to Lowe's. Well, I looked up Harbor Freight. And I was like, boom, I can buy the exact same things at Harbor Freight, and they're probably going to be less expensive than Lowe's anyways. So I have to go an extra 1.5 miles past the Lowe's, or maybe 2 miles past the Lowe's, but I'm willing to do that, right? Same thing with Kroger. Like I looked up Kroger and I was like, not shopping at Kroger anymore. I'll go to Food Lion. I'll go to Fresh Market, which that was like a shocker, right? I was like, Fresh Market, definitely Republicans. Nope, not at all. So I'm switching our mobile provider. I'm going to Mint Mobile. So like it really, like in just the last week, like I'm very conscious of like where I want to put my money now. And I think that's important.
No, it is important. I mean, think about how that's worked the other way to influence companies like Budweiser.
Yeah. Target.
Right. And so, that it is a very important thing to do.
Yeah.
And just like you were saying, at the local level, it's extra important to do at the local level. That's what creates jobs in your communities. That's what, that's how businesses grow. And other things that need to happen at the local level, especially right now, because I think I read the House of Representatives is...
It's Republican.
It's Republican. So
there are literally 0 guardrails.
Yeah, there's 0 guardrails. That's the entire federal level.
Yep.
And that's how it's going to be.
Yep.
That's how it's going to be for at least the next 4 years, and we'll see how
2, because Congress runs every 2. So,
2.
So the Senate is what the Senate is, unless somebody unalives. Tap that screen. Definitely. TikTok. W's in the chat. Tap that screen.
But for at least the next couple years, that's the reality at the federal level. Hopefully, people will wake up by then, and we'll be able to have some change. But in the meantime, our biggest focus has to be making things happen on the local level and making those safe spaces, coming together as a community. And we do that here at the
Yeah.
Kalos Coalition. Matter of
Yes.
fact, we got some events coming up in our local
Oh,
community.
yes. In Virginia Beach.
Tell us a little about it, Thea.
Absolutely. Before I jump into it, I just also want to touch base on the trans family dinner from last week.
Oh, yeah.
We actually hosted. We were out at the Great Awakening Church of Christ in Portsmouth. It was an awesome opportunity for us all to break bread and get together. Actually, producer Athena, you were actually with us. If you want to say hi, no. Okay, you want to say hi?
Hello, Internet.
That's our producer Athena. She came out with us. We had about 20 people, 22 people. We enjoyed vegan lasagna. We played Vigi games. We played headbands. We played, what is it, AI Pictionary? That was fun. And lots of people were sad. Lots of people were scared, but we actually came together and had a meal. We did the dang thing. We got together, and I saw some faces I hadn't seen in months. Because the great thing about the Trans Family Dinners, we did it once a month, twice a month, as much as we can, and we're able to make those connections with people, and we get to see them again this weekend on the 17th. So if you're in the Hampton Roads area and you're interested in joining the Trans Family Dinner, you can sign up through our secure encrypted portal at kaloscoalition.com/TFD. You'll find out more information about the program and specific things that we got going forward beyond that. But that's not the first thing on our weekend. Aside from the Trans Family Dinner, this weekend is a huge thing here in Virginia. Equality Virginia is hosting TIES. And TIES is an acronym for the Transgender Information and Empowerment Summit. They haven't hosted this since 2019. After COVID, it was kind of something that was called off in the latter part of the year, and it hasn't came back just yet. So we're all very, very excited. It's sponsored by TAP. It's sponsored by Thriving Trans Men of Color, Diversity Richmond, all sorts of big organizations. And we're expecting well over 100 different vendors and projects and organizations from across the state that are supporting trans and queer families, elders, individuals, youth, and so on and so forth. There's going to be tons of workshops, and we have the honor of hosting a video story booth. So if you are coming out to Richmond, you can go check out Equality Virginia's page for information about the location and all those sorts of things. Find them on Instagram, Facebook, all the different socials, and come visit us. We'll be in the back. We're collecting stories of trans folks and trying to make sure that we're both collecting the ones about joy and the ones about strife. So it'll be an awesome day, maybe a bit of a heavy day because of this election, but we're coming together. And then I guess one of the big things I'd also like to bring up is it is the Transgender Awareness Week. Officially started today, and it runs throughout the entire weekend, which is why I'm so excited that we get to have a trans family dinner on Sunday. But then it also culminates in the Trans Day of Remembrance and Resilience, what we call TDOR. Here locally, we are super, super fortunate to have community leaders like Dsubi, who we've had on the pod before, who have been leading in this space for literally this is the 20th year that they will be hosting it here in Hampton Roads, which I believe is, if not the longest, one of, or nearly the longest running TDOR celebration in the country. So we will be hosting that at the New Life MCC in Norfolk. You can go to kaloscoalition.com, check through our socials. There should be things that are shared out about that information today, as well as go to TAP Virginia. You can follow them. If you haven't heard about them, they're an amazing organization providing emergency relief that we are hoping to continue to partner with in different ways. And we're all going to be coming together to remember the people that we've lost. To say their names, to light candles in their names, and to be together and mourn. And we're mourning a lot more than just individuals this year, but we're going to remember each person and every step they took.
Awesome.
And any of the viewers that are watching live right now, if you do want to go back and see and listen to any of our prior podcasts with like some of the people that were mentioned, Dee and some others, you can find those at talkingtransparency.com. You can also find the links through kaloscoalition.com. Take you through there if you want.
Absolutely. And then
talkingtransparency.com, and it's on Podbean. It's on all the platforms.
All the platforms.
And there's a YouTube channel too. It's also, we have our own separate TikTok just for Talking Transparency and the Kalos Coalition. So go to all those places and follow, and you can look and listen and watch some of our podcasts from the past.
I know. And if you're watching and you don't know who I am on TikTok, I'm Tattoo Maven.
Yes, Tattoo Maven on
that's
TikTok.
me.
yes.
I don't ever really go live on camera, so
No, this is This is probably one of a handful of lives that I've ever done on
Yeah.
my TikTok, but we'll keep doing it.
Keep doing it.
It's now that we've figured out how to do it with our podcast. I think it's great. I think it's really great.
And we do it every week on Wednesday nights, around between 6 and 7.
Probably closer to 7. I feel like
Probably
check
closer
tune
to
in at 7 p.m.
Yeah, probably closer.
We also have a Discord. You can go to kalescoalition.com and join our Discord. We have a secure Discord, so you can come in. We'll invite you. We'll make sure that everything's safe. And then I think we're doing notifications, Athena, that we're going in our Discord whenever we go live. So that's another way to check out and be able to know exactly when's going. And we hope to continue to tighten this up, learn more about streaming, and bring y'all as much trans joy as we can. Because so the Kales Coalition, not only do we do the Trans Family Dinner Program, we also do our Trans Wish List program. And it's an anonymous program where folks can go on and apply for community aid. We partner with other nonprofits, other businesses, private donors. We have members who actually come on and pay $5, $10 a month or more. That actually enables us to host these trans family dinners, as well as provide microgrant assistance to trans folks who need assistance for vehicle assistance, housing assistance, clothing assistance, and more. And it's something that is a very small pilot program. We're doing our very, very best. And if you'd like to support that, again, go check us out. Go to kalescoalition.com. You can sign up for a membership where literally every single month you'll be supporting safe spaces for trans folks and trans youth across Hampton Roads, as well as helping fulfill trans wishes with every single dollar. And that's my pitch.
Yeah, if you'd like to
There it
do something where you live, your own trans family dinner or something along those lines, please
Reach
reach
out.
out to us.
Yep.
We would love to help that in any way that we can, and just create more of those safe spaces, because that's really what we need to be doing right now. And we're seeing a lot of the community come together. I'm getting lots of RSVPs for the dinners coming through the email.
We're anticipating
Groups
this
of
to be the
4 and
largest one.
5.
Sorry.
And so, and just, I think it's really important to remember right now, as hard as it is, in so many ways, this isn't the time to disappear.
Oh, I know.
It's super hard.
So
and
hard.
and it's scary in so many ways, and certainly understand not wanting to necessarily draw any national attention, it feels like, right?
Right.
But this is a very important time to remain visible in our communities. This is the time to make plans to do something, but make plans, stay active, be feral.
Literally. I was just saying, I am so feral right now. Like, don't even look at me crossways. I had a friend text me this morning and ask me, I did that podcast with Jimmy Frost. And he asked me if Jimmy wanted another round. And I was like, out of respect for your platform, I am way too feral for that right now. Cannot. Yeah. So.
I mean, you say that you're feral, but I feel like you are doing a lot of constructive, like, how can I move my money around? How can I make certain moves?
Yeah.
And the thing about the people that I surround myself with, and the people that you surround yourself with, that I really appreciate, and the thing that I encourage people to try to center in their daily lives, is those material and actionable steps you can take. It may feel insurmountable, as we're talking about the House, the Senate, all these big things that are so far and big ahead of us, but you can do this. As Cody said, we would love to help show you how, or help support you to host a Trans Family Dinner. Because here's the thing, before Trump, after Trump, queer and trans families have been organizing like this since the beginning of time. If you find your chosen family, if you find those safe spaces, if you're lucky enough to find those spaces, that's what is going to keep you and sustain you. The people in those things, the conversations that you have in those spaces, and the joy, as we talked about, that naturally happens, whether we want it to or not, so long as we do make the effort, so long as we show up. But I'm sorry, I don't mean to get off onto high-minded idealism today. It's just, that's what I feel like I need right now.
I know.
A steady diet of it.
I know it's so hard. I feel like the only way that I can kind of channel like my anxiety and like fears and all that is to try to do constructive things that, you know what I mean, are going to make me feel better, and it does. Like I shared the story on my like Facebook or whatever with my friends, and about my Christmas tree. I like anxiety cleaned my garage like 2 days after the election. And then my cousin was like, hey, well, let's put the Christmas stuff in the attic. And I was like, bitch, it's November. Like what? I'm gonna put it up. Like, so I might as well put up my Christmas tree. Well, I got my Christmas tree out and it was kind of janky. Like, I had the middle section, I had put it together because the middle section went out. So I had like took the top and just put it into the bottom, but it was, anyways, I was like, I need a new Christmas tree. So I went to, I knew Lowe's and Home Depot is where I would go to get a freaking artificial Christmas tree. So I'm like, where do I go get an artificial Christmas tree? So I'm like, let me Google it. Let me see what retailers come up. And Michael's came up. And so I was like, cool. All right, let me look up Michael. Let me go in the app and let me look up Michael's. It was a donkey. And I was like, bingo. And I ordered it for pickup the next day. And I felt really good about it. So that's where I'm getting my joy right now.
Did you know that? Should I see it? Should I out you? Can I out you? Okay.
Oh.
Our producer Athena is actually, what is it, manager in training, soon to be manager of our local Michaels.
Oh, really?
Oh, yay.
You don't know this, but you and my wife just became besties.
Yep. So I was so excited when I saw them, and I put up my Michael's Christmas tree, which, by the way, was $100. This is the other thing. It was $139.99, and I got it for $49.99.
Is it pre-lit?
Yes.
Oh.
It's pre-lit, and I got it for.
I hate the pre-lit because eventually the lights are going to go out, and then you're just going to have a bunch of, pre-lit lights that you can't take off.
Yeah, but my ADHD, like putting lights on, it's awful.
What kind of tree is it? Like what
It's
kind
like
of fake?
it's one of those slim ones.
No,
like
but I mean, what's the name of the fake tree? Is it like
spruce? I think.
Is
I
it?
think it's a spruce. It's a spruce. I'm getting a, yeah. Athena's saying it's a spruce. Yeah.
But is it really a spruce, or is it one of
very
those
nice.
like?
It's very nice, Cody. Come over and see.
Well, because we got ours from Michael.
Okay.
Like a few years ago.
Okay.
And I just remember that the name of the tree wasn't like a real tree.
Oh, that's hilarious. No, I don't know, and I don't really care because it's in my.
And I also
so
I
cute.
also remember that the pre-lit lights on it went out.
Well, so that's what happened my last two. That's why I had to get the Michael's one, because only the middle section of that freaking Christmas tree went out. So instead of getting a new Christmas tree last year, I was like, well, screw it. And I took the middle section and then I plugged in the top to the bottom and I was like, oh, that works. And then I took rubber bands and I like just kept wrapping rubber bands around it until I could get it kind of steady, like to where it was, because the pole size, it's a little too small from the top one. So then this year I was reminded of what I did to make it work last year. And I was like, nope, I'm buying myself a new Christmas tree.
Y'all
I
are
need
so
to feel
funny.
better.
When this happens to me, my solution is I just go buy lights and then put it around the light the tree that doesn't burn out lights.
Oh, that's
I didn't get a new tree or anything. I just put so much lights on it that you don't notice that those lights that came on it aren't working. And I actually, like last year, was it last year? I think it was last year. Maybe it was the year before. Last year or the year before, I actually bought like a smaller rainbow tree.
Oh, did you?
You know, like they make like the little trees.
Yeah, the little trees.
And I got a rainbow one, and I ripped the bottom off it, and I zip tied it to the top of our big tree. And then I decorated it in rainbow, because my wife really loves the like the, I call it the sterile, like, blue and silver and red and gold and like all like, white and blue lights or white and red lights. And I like the holiday season threw up on the tree look.
Oh,
that's what I like. So
no, all the lights have to be the same. It's either
no.
rainbow.
They has to be
Almost
all
always
different colors, and there has to be big bulbs and
No.
little bulbs, and they got to flash on
Oh my
different
God.
patterns.
Please don't tell me you
And-
tinsel.
And
No
I
tinsel.
like my trees in drag.
You like your trees in
Like,
drag?
straight up, sorry.
No,
I want to see that
I'm
tinsel.
that mom that wouldn't let my kids, like, I would let my kids help me with the Christmas tree, and then when they were finished because they were bored, I would then completely make it like perfect.
so we take
Yeah.
turns. We take turns. She will do it her way one year,
Oh,
and then I get to do it the other way.
Which year is it this year?
I think it's mine, but she may have passed last year.
we kind of did that this year.
And
this
so,
year was
like,
superhero.
I
Last
know the
was
year-
Woodland Farm Animals.
I know the year before last was mine, because I like went and bought whole new sets of ornaments and everything so I could make the whole tree rainbow colored. There's like all as rainbow
Yeah.
as I could. And I put it like right in front of the sliding glass door so that all my neighbors had to see it walking by.
That's awesome.
to mostly positive reviews. I had a couple neighbors that were like, "I really like your tree."
Mm-hmm.
This year, what I want to decorate my tree with is paper cranes strung on string with fairy lights. Matter of fact, Athena, producer, could you show on your camera really quickly? Uh, we have been producing strings of little tiny paper cranes and trans flags that are just gorgeous little head adorns and things.
I would love those on our tree with one, as long as I don't have to make them, because I think it brings like childhood trauma flashbacks to having to sew the cranberries and popcorn.
It's very similar.
I imagine it
process.
looks like it's almost exactly the same thing. And that was the worst. It was like, not only were you too poor to buy decorations, but
You put popcorn
you put popcorn on your Christmas
on your
tree.
Christmas tree.
Like, it was a
Candy
good
canes
memory.
were our,
once.
candy canes were our choice because it was like you get a $1 box of candy canes and it's like you just throw all the candy canes on the tree. That
Oh,
was
I
the,
know, that's-
when you're poor.
That's going to
Like,
be the big change this holiday season.
Yeah.
Is so my youngest
Mhm.
has informed me
Oh.
that I don't have to do the elf on the shelf anymore. He knows.
Oh, he knows now. Okay, so we're
He knows
beyond
now.
the
He's
elf
just let
on
me
the
know.
shelf.
He hasn't figured out where I hid it. He said I'm very good at that.
Oh my God,
He
that's
searched
hilarious.
everywhere. He has no idea I'm the best at that. But he knows.
Okay.
And he's very impressed that I managed to come up with something different every single day for so many years. Like, he's like, "That's insane." Like, you.
Yeah. I never participated in elf on a shelf
so
in my house.
I'm
Seems creepy. Seems like you're trying to spook children.
gonna do it one more year,
Okay.
just
for
him, just
for him to-
going away. Elf on the shelf, just for the fun of it.
Mm-hmm.
And
You should make him do it.
yeah, and guess what? You got to wait till I go to bed, and you got to move the little elf somewhere, and make sure it's interesting. Like, don't give me no boring stuff. I need storyline. I need plot. I need
set design.
this going somewhere. And so, for real though, like, it was an epic run. I mean,
I believe
the
it.
elf on the shelf fought with tooth fairies because for a few years they always lost a tooth during Christmas. So there was like a tooth fairy battle almost every year,
Oh my
different
God.
ways. I mean, yeah, for real. Like 1 year they lost 2 teeth. There was 2 teeth lost during the month of December. So the elf got the tooth fairy the first time. Then the tooth fairy came back and got the elf.
And the other tooth back. Mm-hmm.
There was,
wow.
There's always a poop incident, right? You find so many different ways to make an elf poop.
Yep.
I once bought this bigger chocolate poop, and I had the elf eat poop X-laxes, and I built like a whole toilet out of Tupperware with a little toilet paper roll holder.
What?
And the elf ate the poop X-laxes and pooped out the giant poop in the Tupperware.
Oh, Cody.
Oh.
Did you document any of these?
Oh, maybe not really. Like, I just wasn't really that. I've always been like that though. Like when my oldest was younger, and they do this now with their kids. One day from school, like 7, maybe 6, 7. During March or whatnot, they came home and said that they needed to make a leprechaun trap. It was like school thing.
The old leprechaun trap.
So I helped them make an elaborate leprechaun trap.
I can
and everything.
imagine.
And then after they went to sleep, I went and found a little doll shoe and found some like fabric and cut a pair of leprechaun pants out and everything and made it look like we'd almost caught the leprechaun.
Yeah.
The leprechaun had to leave his pants and shoe to get away.
That's amazing.
And then I did that with my oldest for years. Like 1 year we set up a whole thing, and it was when I was a photographer. And so I actually, we set up the camera, and I was like, we're going to like catch them and get pictures. And then when they went to bed, I stayed up late into the night and photoshopped pictures of the leprechaun hanging out in this house that we built. Like,
no way.
and so, yeah, like our elf on the shelf has like different outfits
Oh
and
my.
different other of my kids' toys
Yep.
are friends with the elf
Oh
on the
my
shelf, and
God.
they do different things and have different traditions and play different games every year. Like it's a whole
Are
like
you
world.
happy now that it's gone? Because I'm feeling like you're not happy that it's gone now. You like this is a creative outlet for you.
But this is the last. So like those little things are such an
Yeah.
important. I think people don't realize that there's a handful of ways that as a parent you're able to teach your child to believe in impossible things,
Yeah.
right?
Sure.
And your child's ability to do things that haven't been done before
Mm-hmm.
or attempt things that are daunting
Mm-hmm.
are going to be based on them having an ability
Yeah.
to believe in the impossible somewhere.
Yes.
And that's what these things are.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a dual purpose, right? It helps them believe in the impossible. And then when they finally realize it,
Mm-hmm.
they understand how regular people
Mm-hmm.
make impossible things happen.
That's right. That's true.
And so, yes, I have spent like every day of every December
Mm-hmm.
for many years now, staying up extra late,
Mm-hmm.
trying to be extra creative and all of these little extra things and quietly sneaking around the house.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't get caught and the magic
Mm-hmm.
doesn't wane
Right.
and all of that stuff. Because someday,
Mm-hmm.
like my oldest does now, my oldest has children now
Mm-hmm.
and does leprechaun traps and does those different things. Because someday I want them to understand
Yep.
what really goes into that.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
It's
I'm
one-
such a
and-
shit parent.
and so, yes.
You are not a ship.
Like,
Don't
like,
talk
I'm-
about that. Oh
I'm-
my
I'm-
God.
I'm gonna be relieved after this year. Like I'm gonna do it the one more year, the
Yeah.
last year of the Elf on the Shelf, and I
Yeah.
know my child doesn't believe in it anymore,
Yes.
and it's just one more hurrah.
Right.
But as a parent, especially one
yeah.
that's invested
Yes.
so
And
much
invested
into
yeah.
that,
Yes. Yeah.
it is the turning of a page.
Yeah. It is.
It is in a way it is something to mourn, right?
Yeah.
Just
Oh,
like you mourn them being babies and all of that. You
and then they don't believe in Santa and then all the things.
Yep, and that's what this is. It's it's just that.
Yeah. And then they're like, Mom, don't kiss me, don't talk to me, don't touch me. Pretend that I don't exist unless I want something from you.
Like this
money,
this was my
food.
youngest's last year trick or treating legally.
Yeah,
Right?
Yeah. I'm like, all
It's-
the 18-year-old come to my house.
It's that time in
No.
parenthood
Yeah,
for me
yeah.
where now my youngest is no longer a child,
Child, yeah.
and so it's the end of some of those things, the walking
Yeah.
around the neighborhood trick-or-treating as they run from door to door and say trick or treat, and
Yeah.
and the end of the Elf on the Shelf, and those things.
It's
And so
funny because we're all phases of like Thea has no children. Cody has children, older, like adult, but also still parenting and raising kids in school. And me, I'm home free. My youngest is 24. I've been empty nesting for like 3 years now. And I did that with pot plants and politics. So that's how I empty nested the 3 P's, the 3 important P's, which politics is just
someone who's not a parent. I just think to myself about how raw and wrong it seems that we don't give parents the respect, because like parents are the ones that are saving and are like building all of this magic for their kids. But I guess in hearing you talk, Cody, about this very specific magic and what it means to you and what you hope for it gives me a little bit more perspective on it. But then also it reminds me that every ending or every concealing is a revealing. Because not every ending is a beginning, but and as this part of their lives becomes eclipsed by there's new parts that are eclipsing it, and now they get to come into a full appreciation of what you were doing
For
and
them,
how
yeah.
and the thing about it is like there is a richness in that continues to grow. And I know you know this because you already have raised an amazing young daughter and have gone through that. And so it's the sort of thing, it's just it isn't it's as much as it is a sad and bittersweet loss, it is also just it's part of that magic. I don't know. I don't want to start crying out.
It is part of the magic. It is. And you
Well,
know,
and it's especially important now,
yeah.
especially for parents of LGBTQ children,
Yes.
to be putting that extra work in,
Yeah.
reinforcing that ability to believe in the impossible.
Mm-hmm.
And also to believe in a brighter future and tomorrow.
Mhm.
I had the privilege this week of meeting with, I don't want to out them, put any names out there, but one of the leaders of our local LGBTQ plus homeschooling group. We sat and had a long meeting, and we were talking specifically about the trans family dinner, about the burden, but both burden but privilege
Mm-hmm.
that parents have, and the ways in which we can work together to make those spaces. And I know it's something that's going to be very pressing because there have been lots of conversations and will be conversations about what's going on in our school boards here locally.
Mm-hmm.
If you're tuning in and you're around the world and if you don't know, here in Virginia Beach and Hampton Roads, we've actually, across Hampton Roads, we've had book bans, we've had
Forced
restricted
outing policies.
forced outing policies, and it's the sort of thing that we're kind of anticipating that we might have more LGBTQ plus homeschool students here in the future. And one of the things that's really important is making those safe spaces, because if we're not going to have public schools be that safe space, if public spaces aren't going to be, then we need much more intentional spaces. And we talk about different populations, we talk about different groups, we talk about generalizations, but everyone is welcome at the trans family dinner. You know what I mean? And those are things that we're trying to put it forward in our community. And we think that if you're in your own space right now and you're thinking to yourself, you've got a young child and they want to leave school for all sorts of different reasons, or they're having trouble at school and you're considering it, these are the types of supplementary, secondary, almost framework events that can help build and support that. Because siloing, isolation, this is part and part of the people who are coming against us. Those are the tools that they use to try to divide and try to
Divide and conquer. Yeah.
Divide and conquer. Yep.
But when we come together, we short circuit that plan. You provide, just in the way that Cody, you're saying, you put on all of these tableaus, all these specific, all these different stories that you're doing. We can continue to hold those tableaus, those spaces. We continue to build those, not just as a fictional fantasy sort of thing, but a real space and things. And that's something that parents, if you're a parent, you already do. You already have to do to be a good parent, to be there and show up. It's just a matter of taking that and finding people to help you do that. Because that's the other thing that was most remarkable, listening to this group, with over 200 different families in this group, talking about how they've come together and how they've supported each other. And this has been going on for years here locally.
That's great.
And those are the sorts of things we're going to do. And if you're not already, get on Facebook, find your groups, find your people, get in your Discords, ask these questions. And every single lead that you meet could be another family member, could be another person that will be there, if not for you, but for your children. And not always in material ways, but sometimes in social ways.
Yeah.
In small little ways. So I don't know. I
I
try to find these things that we can tell people to do.
I mean, it's just
You know?
important. We need to come together. You can
Right.
blow a candle out, but you can't get rid of the sun. We need to combine our lights.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
Well said as always,
Yeah.
Cody.
Cody's just got away with words. I very much appreciate that, friend. Yes.
I very much appreciate you guys. I very much appreciate the opportunities and privileges that we have in our community to create spaces for trans joy, create opportunities for trans joy in our community coming together, places for parents like me to feel safe and be safe with our children, and to share common ground and experiences with people. And so, I think it's important now for everybody to stay focused on the things to be grateful for. Stay focused on building those things and fighting back in those ways.
Right.
And you know one of the things I'm looking forward to?
What?
The trans family dinner we have for December. We actually have a
Yeah.
great partner in the Chrysler Museum. I don't know if you are listening, if you're from Hampton Roads, if you've heard of it's at this point, it's a very storied institution, are going to invite us and the entire trans family dinner in to see the entire art gallery, be able to engage in some interactive art displays and have some food and break bread together. So if you haven't already heard about it, you haven't seen the flyers, go to kalescoalition.com/TFD. All the information is up there and you can RSVP to join us. It is going to be an amazing night, and these are the types of nights that I'm living for right now. So
Yeah.
Absolutely. And don't forget, go follow us on Talking Transparency on TikTok, talkingtransparency.com. Subscribe on our YouTube channel. And make sure, especially right now, if you're part of the community, you have friends, family members part of the community, we're sharing that trans joy. And as we have come to know ourselves, that joy will defeat hate every time. It'll stop.
the trans joy won't stop.
Trans joy won't stop.
Thank you, everybody, for watching our first live broadcast podcast.
This podcast is brought to you in partnership with Collective Tattoo and the Kalos Coalition. We are listener supported, so if you like the show, please consider donating to us on Patreon at patreon.com/talkingtransparency. Like, share, and subscribe across social media, and be sure to visit our Linktree at linktree.com/talkingtrans.